Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about winter blues. So if you've been feeling a bit down and a bit moody and a bit overtired of late and you just can't seem to get out of your own way, then that's totally understandable, and we're going to look at ways of hopefully changing that around and embracing these winter months rather than feeling like that you want to naturally hibernate, cocoon yourself away from the world just to stay warm. My name is Ben Edfield, I'm a leadership coach, and you're in the right place for turning those winter blues around so you can not feel like you're constantly trying to get warm all the time. Instead of hibernating, let's get stuck into how we can change things around. So here are 5 tips that will help us get through these winter months with a much more progressive mindset rather than feeling that we want to absolutely just bundle down and run away and hide for the next few months. Number 1 is about getting back out into the light. Artificial lights, they just don't compare to the real thing. So even though the sun is a little weak at times and the sun is feeling a little gloomy and grey, it's still better to be getting some of those sun rays rather than staying in under artificial lights for the majority of your day. So wherever you can, whenever you can, grab some sunshine. It's really important to do that. And the best thing is that you can actually tie number 2 to the first one, which is about doing some exercise, going for a brisk walk, really embracing this time out in the fresh air. So you're not only getting nice, big, clean, fresh air, you're also getting that little bit of sunshine that is available during the day. Take that opportunity. Don't trust your brain when it says don't go out there, just hide. Actually having the courage to go against our bodily instincts, which is to not leave our little shelter, to actually go out and embrace those days and feel the most out of them. So exercising is a really important thing. So not only just go for that walk outside, but also doing some yoga, doing any form of exercise at all. If it's sometimes we just do 5-star jumps when Apple Watches first came out and they told you to stand up every hour, that's a very true. Even though you might have felt like a total moron standing up, if you've got a workplace desk that you can stand at, if you can move around the office a little bit more, if you can walk a little bit further from your car park, making sure that you're not just using the shortest journeys possible. Use any incidental exercise that you can possibly make to improve that exercise mantra to yourself, improve that movement mantra to yourself. Get out there, do something. So we're thinking that, embrace the weather. This is the time to actually get out. They say there is no bad weather, there's only bad clothing. So there's lots of wonderful clothing options that you can have these days. Making sure you put your beanie on, your scarf on, your gloves on, whatever it takes for you to get outside. Often you find once you're out there, it's actually not as bracing as you think, or when it is really bracing and invigorating, you come back feeling heroic rather than feeling like you've just hidden away from the cold in the day. So take that chance, actually go outside and embrace it. Take your dog for a walk, take your friend for a walk, take anyone you can for a walk, take yourself for a walk. It's amazing what you can see in these winter daylight hours. The change of scenery, observe the things around you, listen to the things around you. It can be quite an exciting time to be alive. Even though some people think of it as stark, it is really quite beautiful. Number 4, the big one, eat healthy. We always want to eat with comfort food, don't we? We want to just shove our mouths full of all the fats we can eat, all the sugar we can eat, and it makes us feel gluggy after a few days. It gives us a little high for a moment, but then we're just constantly chasing that high. So instead of chasing that high all the time, learn to look at your food groups. If you're always constantly filling up on just heavy breads and cereals or sugars and fats, then you're actually going to feel gluggier and gluggier, more downcast, more life is just hard. That you actually want to get out there, find some soups, find some really lovely recipes, and enjoy the difference in the foods you can embrace during these times. Rather than just setting for comfort foods, actually introduce a much better eating plan for yourself. This is a great time to break those habits. Ignore that sugar rush that's coming at you. Understand it for what it is. But if you succumb to it, that means you're going to be feeling gluggy for the rest of the day. Whereas if you have a much better eating habit over the next 4 or 5 days, you'll actually feel much more invigorated and revitalized. Number 5 is actually about reconnecting with friends, making sure you keep the connection with friends, making sure you keep the connection with activities, rather than just hibernating and hiding away from things and making sure that's the only thing that you want to do. You want to actually get out there and enjoy catching up with people. Those daylight hours where sometimes we're not crammed full of activities is the time to actually make sure that you are socializing, that you are catching up with friends. Once you're having those winter blues, it can feel very isolating, and the more that we isolate it, the more we feel that we don't get energized from it. Make plans with friends, make plans with family, and you'll actually feel a lot better for it, for that social activity and that social connection. After these long months of COVID that we've had, where we've actually been isolated, it's very easy to slip back into that isolated feeling, and everything in the world seems hard and tough. Whereas often just having a coffee with someone, just catching up quickly with someone, can make a big difference between how you feel connected back into the world. The bonus of 6 is all about sleep. Often during these hibernation times, we feel that we want to nap and rest, and yet we actually don't get into a nice, deep, restful sleep. Because we stay connected to our devices, we stay connected to the TV, we actually do activities that don't allow us to get into a deep night's sleep. So this is a good time for you to look at how you're using your social media, how you're using your electronic devices, and are you truly shutting yourself down, or are you just letting yourself go into a half grey zone of slightly tired, slightly napping, slightly not sleeping at all, rather than actually having a real genuine sleep time. So making sure you're getting into those sleep habits, shutting off your devices, making sure you're disconnecting with the world and getting into a nice, big, deep, restful sleep, rather than staying in the zone of being slightly engaged and disengaged and not being present at any one time. Really be aware of the times that you're trying to get to sleep. Make it a definite time. Make it a definite time when you're shutting off your devices. Make it a definite time when you're actually getting into bed, and make a good bed routine. I covered sleep in a different YouTube clip, and I'll link that below, and making sure you go through that in the description, just some techniques that help you get a nice, deep, restful sleep. Instead of staying in that grey zone of napping and not really sleeping at all, of being consciously aware of what's happening in the outer world but not actually engaging with it, change all that. Make sure this is a good time to actually get into a really good sleep patterns, and understand sleep patterns will make a big difference, that you get a nice deep sleep and also makes you feel actually rested, rather than always feeling tired and zonked out for the whole day. So these were some nice quick tips that helps you get over the winter blues. You're not feeling alone with those sort of things. It's quite an often and frequent occurrence that happens during these winter months when our daylight starts to reduce. Some people think of it as seasonal effect, and that is the first signs of depression, but most of us just actually have the blues where we're just not feeling great, and we actually lead us into bad habits. The further we go down those bad habit chains, the worse that becomes. So this is the time to turn it around. This is the time to embrace those winter months. Get out there, enjoy it, find something, adventure, and you'll be surprised how invigorating and wonderful the winter can be. Take care, all the best. Hope to catch you on the next one.